Hey there, welcome to this video. I hope you're doing great. The thematic that we're going to discuss today is about beliefs and how these beliefs affect the learning of the students. Let's say first that everyone has a set of beliefs in their mind about what they are capable of doing. In that common vision about learning has been made up for all the events that they have been lived. And of course, the way in which they have growth also play a relevant role. And the point here is that all those beliefs and thoughts that we have about learning play an essential role in trying to get knowledge. And let me put it in this way. If I do believe that every human being is capable of learning what they want to learn because knowledge it's innate to us, maybe I'll be someone who is very receptible to get knowledge because my beliefs and my thoughts are congruent with the reality. While if I thought the only certain people could learn because they have special characteristics, maybe I will be someone who is very shy, maybe antisocial, and someone who has not confidence at all. Because, as I said before, these beliefs could play an essential role at the time to get knowledge. And to get deeper in this thematic, I would like to talk about learning, what learning is. Many author has tried to define it in the best way possible. To keep it simple in this video, let's say that learning is the acquisition of knowledge or any skill. And there's a point I would like to stand out because many people tend to think that learning is about memorizing, but I think it's not that way. I do believe that learning is about understanding, not only memorizing. Of course, memory play a significant role, but it's not determinant as people think. And you can get learning, you can get knowledge by experience, by study, or simply by being taught. And now let's talk about the perspective from which learning has been studied. There's two mainly. One of them is called behaviorist perspective, in which study change in the environment or the behaviors that people could have depend on the environment and they in which they move. And this perspective refuses to discuss some mental process because they are not observable and could not be studied objectively, and that's why sometimes this perspective is called a stimulus response, because we respond to some stimulus and in that the way in which we learn. And the other perspective is called behavior is humanistic perspective, in which specific human capacities are included, for example, creativity, personal growth, and choice. Learners can be trusted to find their own goals and follow their dreams. And a clear example of this is when parents encourage to their children to do what they really want to do and not obligating to do what they don't really want to do. As simple as that. This perspective say that we learn when we want to learn. As simple as that. Actually, there's not much to say. And the last point I would like to say in this video is about memory. As I said before, memory is it's important when we are learning something, because somehow memory is the play in which we save or we store the information that we later on will use in the practice things we do. For example, if we know how to use a tool and someone comes to tell us this tool is used in this way, the theory that we will need to put in practice that tool will be saved in our memory. And that's all what I wanted to say in this video. Now my classmate will continue with the development of this thematic.
What is learning? Learning is the process of acquiring new knowledge, tastes, behavior, skill, and even preferences. The ability to learn is the possessed by the human being since this knowledge is acquired daily through learning. For example, imitation is when we observe how a people behave, speak, or act. Implies observation and we can acquire ways of learning from the other. A good advice will be to learn to do repetition. That is when you want to learn something, what you have to do is repeat. And if you repeat to memorize, you will remember. But if you repeat to memorize and understand, you will excel. That is what the learning is about. The most important thing is that they must combine ourselves, that it doesn't matter how difficult something is, but if you with things positive, we can make it easy. Number 2, what is assistant? Assistant describes that the relationship between a various element or unit of work system has something important that they build to the produce one or more specific goals. It is a way of working, organizes, or just doing something that follows a plan of a set of the rule in our day-to-day. We come into the contact with various systems. For example, when we want to prepare for a text, for this we use the necessary elements for a plan that helps in the preparation of a good score. The tips that must be taken into account are organized information gathering, taking a questionnaire, making notes, studying the necessary hours, and with a positive mind. So a learning system is that the combination of knowledge. Number 3, 3 things that can help you in your learning. The first determines why. Something it happens to us that we are trying to concentrate on a place, but we don't not have a clear idea or a reason that generates interest toward or learn something. The best things will be to think of your goal or an inspiring phrase that helps and encourage. You have to remember that it is also always better to say positive. The second determines the what. For this thing, it is necessary to have the material that will be necessary to carry out an activity. And a good advice will be to write what you plan to do to remember, and everything is in order. Finally, we have the step that determines when or where you can work everything you want to learn, the garden, the living room, or the other places. You can take the time is necessary. But now, what about a belief? A belief is what we believe or can't be the opinion of someone who has about something. What we believe about things is usually arises from the experience acquired in a life, and that make us believe that the social thing is produced by this or that. For example, if our mother tells us that the fight never leads to anything, and that instead we should use dialogue to solve things, then we will have to believe that the problems are only the solved through communication. When it comes to learn, we may have a different set of belief. Another example, if a person has the belief that the vocabulary can be learned, no matter how difficult it is, this person can achieve and make that the belief possible. If you want to achieve some goal, the best you can do is learn, make a mistake, practice and practice, believe in yourself, and once you learn all that, you can't get it. Number 5, belief and learning. Belief is something like a model, general base of faith created by our mind, which then, due to interpretation, becomes a connected content which will not present a demonstration. For example, we believe that at the time of learning we need to be a dedicated, hardworking person who plans his goal, and we even believe that the being responsible will help us to be better student, and we are correct. If these beliefs are part of a student, that the student will be very good, but if the beliefs were different, then that the person will set limitations. 6. What are some beliefs that can help someone learn better? We know that the decision that a person makes are related to their own belief system that allows them to face the complexities of their world. The best tips for a person to learn to be better are: first, learn to make a mistake in order to improve from those mistakes. Put into the practice everything that a person can learn. You can share the knowledge with the other people who need it. I also note and organize a person helps a lot when it comes to learning, being creative, taking into account what you want to learn. Sometimes it can be very difficult to do something, but when you have clear goals, nothing is difficult. In conclusion, learning has fostered a deeper understanding and how we learn, especially when we had belief. Believing that the only intelligent persons are capable of understanding, doing, or learning something is not a good belief, because in the end it will create a predisposition on the part of the person not wanting to learn it. But if the beliefs are more positive, the person can achieve what you want through your effort, your skill, or knowledge.